table 1, Steve McEnery, Sammy Craddock, taking table 1.
I'm left-handed, mate. Good luck.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday action, and this is first round game from the Jason Owen Open. You would have already seen we've had some action this morning. Apologies, there wasn't any commentary, or we basically set it up for you. I went for breakfast as we had a bit of a late night last night, streaming until midnight. We decided to just go and have a later breakfast this morning. But we're back for the action now, and we're ready for a full day with Jason Owen all the way until 5 p.m. when we come back to the last 16 and play down to the final of the main event. We will take a look in a little while at how that last 16 is starting to shape up. And in the meantime, we bring you action from the Jason Owen Open, and this is Steve McEnery from Coventry, and he's playing Sammy Craddock, who is from Cambridgeshire. This is Steve McEnery at the table. You can see the ladies' event has just gotten underway in the background. There's currently 16 of the tables in action for that ladies' event. It's already been packed with action this morning. So we'll just take a look at how that last 32 has played out. Dylan Leary was through in really quick time against Josh Kane. So Josh is out. Dylan Leary goes through 7 frames to 2. Ben Flack and Adam Pursue. That one has been going on for a while now. Ben Flack's on the hill and he's leading 6-5 against Adam. We saw a great game against Sean Chipperfield against Tom Cousins. Sean did race out to a 5-0 lead and Tom reined him in. But, Sean managed to get over the line 7 frames to 4. John Egan's through against Liam Gollop. Another good run from John Egan. Callum Singleton is, in fact, I can see Ben Flack has just stepped away from the table and he's having a chat with Adam Pursue. He has won that game. So it's Ben Flack that goes through and he'll play Dylan Leary in the last 16. Sean Chipperfield against John Egan. Callum Singleton is currently playing Sean Story. And again, looking over. So Callum Singleton was 6-5 up and I can see the referee currently cleaning the table, and I can confirm that Callum Singleton's beaten Sean Story. So Sean, off of the back of last weekend's big win, he's made another run but fallen short of the line. Aaron Davis came up against Chris Hampson, and Aaron Davis won 7 frames to 2, so he will face up against Callum Singleton in the last 16. Carl Sutton's beaten Dan Eaton-Lease this morning and he will play Eddie Barker. Eddie Barker, incidentally, has beaten Chris Day 7 frames to 0 this morning. That was after Chris Day beat Chris Melling last night. So, and there's another man who's on a bit of form, but Eddie Barker, what a season he's having. He really is playing well. Jake McCartney and Scott Gillespie. Well, that game's been going on for 1 hour and 45 minutes now. And Jake McCartney 5-3 up against Scott Gillespie. Phil Harrison had an easy win against Glenn Hannibal, 7 frames to 1. Rob Warren and Neil Raybone. Rob's been in control of that match all the way through. And again, looking across, the players are stood talking to each other and analysing the game. That game is finished. I can't tell you who won it at the moment. I've got 6 all on my score here, so just waiting for that to tick over. Clint Hansen beat Matt Cook 7 frames to 1. Jack Whelan beat Tyler Hunt 7 frames to 1. Lee Kendall through against Arfin Dad. The old Fox beat Arfin 7 frames to 3. Declan Brennan made short work of Enrico Forgione 7 frames to 2. And Pat Ward is currently 5-1 up against Ben Clark. So that is the last 32 of the main event. And we'll just keep an eye out on those last few scores and let you know how they pan out. But for now, we're going to focus on the Jason Owen Open. Races to 4. So it's going to be short and punchy all day. So nice shot. And Sammy Craddock with a good opportunity to get this first frame on the board. Nice 8 ball. And first frame on the board to Sammy.
Table 11, please. Andrew Lister, Sean Chipperfield, table 11.
Good chance for yellows here. Albeit a little bit tricky because all the traffic's in one area. Park the cue ball pretty much on the blue spot, so he's got choices either side. I think take this one to the left and then maybe just try and grip into the cue ball. He's got choices. He can just run off the side cushion and then, yeah, that's okay. That's a decent flick actually. It's we can just play a delicate little shot now, and it needs to leave the yellow that's just near the black spot into the left centre, but needs to leave it with a good angle where he can just thread the needle through that gap between black and yellow. This is still a bit tricky. I think he has to try and play the one to middle next because almost impossible to get back onto it. He does have a nice angle now that he could get across for that one on the right hand side, but then how do you get from the one on the right to the one near the black spot? So this needing a bit of thought, and Steve just having to take an extra second over this. Needing the furniture out as well. Well, he judged that about as well as he could. played that to absolute perfection, and actually now has played it so well that he's left himself a lovely little angle just to top this off the side cushion. Just play it with a little right side just to bring the cue ball. And he's just topping it through, maybe just a trace aside, just to help the cue ball down the table. Just overhit slightly. I just think that was one of those, it just needed just a little bit of right hand side and maybe a bit of bottom, and I think that would have been, the red ball would have been in the gap kind of halfway between red and yellow. I just think he's just misjudged that shot. Good recovery though. It's fairly lucky when you leave it that close to leave it. Wow, it was a pretty much perfect, to be honest, just off straight, so he could stun it in, and now should be able to drop this to right centre, can stun across onto the red if he wants to, just to hold the cue ball. Or just run off the side cushion like so. Good clearance in the end. Played a couple of good shots in there, deserved a bit of luck.
Anyone wishing to bet on the football, the coupons are at the same.
You can't give them a 5-0 lead, is what
you're saying? Wow. That was unexpected.
Yeah, I always do it. When I come home, it's always cold. One for you, one for
table 15, please. Neil Davey, Glenn Carr, table 15.
Apologies for the break on comms. We were just trying to sort something out here. It's all sorted now. And now suddenly Sammy with a very good chance on reds. Just needs to pop this one down the cushion and control. Probably just screw back 6 inches just to leave the one up to top right corner. That was just come away from the cushion, didn't give it enough of a chance, and I think this red, I think, passes the top corner. That red going over the pocket's not absolutely the worst result. If you look at where the 8 ball is, sat on that bottom cushion, does have the 2 balls in the middle of the table. If this red passes, the yellow passes to top corner, which I suggest it doesn't, it would have been a lot easier if it did, because he could have just played through and left one of these to middle. And that. What's he left? Has he covered both of these balls to the bottom of the table? Sammy's going to be reluctant to move either of those, given that the yellows are in the centre of the table. I mean, he could probably just take a liberty here and just bring this red off of the cushion and leave the cue ball up on the top cushion. He's not going to leave too much. Yep, leave the cue ball about there. What's he leaving? Doesn't want to overdo it though and put the red on the opposite cushion. Just bring it out. Yeah, make sure he's there for Ron, as they say. Later on. Is that just me there for Ron? Just me then. He's in a bit of danger of putting himself into trouble here, because that 8-ball is always going to present the problem unless he can somehow develop. And now that should be frame over. Let's have a brief look at those final games from the last 16. Jake McCartney's on the hill against Scott Gillespie, 6-5 up, and Pat Ward on the hill against Ben Clark, 6-2 up. Both of those games have been going just a little over 2 hours now. Ben Clark, Pat Ward, 8 frames in just over 2 hours. I said I didn't know the score between Rob Warren and Neil Raybone, but actually Rob Warren's beaten Neil Raybone. And he's going to play Clint Hansen in the next round.
Just make sure he's around there.
in the Jason Owen competition on table 2, Brett Wild, Ben Swinnerton. Brett Wild, Ben Swinnerton, table 2. On table number 4, Jordan Graham, Mike Beckett. Jordan Graham, Mike Beckett, table number 4. On table 11.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning
Ryan
for
Bosworth.
tuning in on
Jeff
YouTube.
Graham, Ryan Bosworth.
We're watching this race to 4, the World Rules Pool Tour Event 5 Jason Owen Open. It's still pretty early on a Saturday morning. I mean, it's not that early, but 11:15 feels pretty early when you were up streaming until midnight last night. Morning, Dave Roberts, and hope you're well. Looking forward to your money match in a couple of weeks' time. We got the big Shane Thompson game next weekend, and then we got our sleeping bags ready for you and Kev Richardson. Is that the week after? 14th, 13th. Should be an epic.
Match in the Jason Owen competition on table. Sorry, get it.
That was Paul put me up to that, Dave. You know what he's like. He's got hold of that one. That's still okay. Should be leveling things up at 2 each. Nice black, needed good cueing.
Next match is Jason Owen on table 9. Mark Russell, Neil Raybone. Mark Russell, Neil Raybone, table 9.
Just hear Mark Russell being called against Neil Raybone. Neil Raybone's just been knocked out of the main event by Rob Warren, and got another tough game there against Mark Thrussell. So a dry break. Nice bit of work there from Paul. Missed the break for you. He was sleeping on the job. What a man. Got one job to do. Pressing a button at the right time and he gets that wrong. It's alright, Dave. This is all for you, man. I'm getting my own back on him. Just for you.
He's probably not watching anymore. He's got bored listening.
He got bored of listening to me now. That Pat Ward against Ben Clark game is still going on. Surely not. Maybe that my phone just needed refreshing. Surely it still is going on. 2 hours 20 minutes to play 8 frames. What a game. Unless it's finished and they just haven't pressed the button. It's on table 16, which is not in this arena. It's one of the side rooms, so can't actually see. I think the reds are okay. I think the red passes between the black and the yellow to go to middle. So actually, then they're all there for him. Just needs to cue the one down the rail well. Cue ball naturally comes across the table, and fairly simple now. Push one of the balls safe. Now this red's a problem on the right hand side. So everything was there, but now he's gonna have to develop one. If he wants to push the boat out here, he does have an angle on the yellow closest to the pocket, just to be able to play it with a touch of left hand side and come up and develop this one on the right hand side cushion. If he wants to play slightly more conservatively, he could just play the plant just to cover the pocket. He's gone for the developing. Didn't get it, but he's now got an angle on the one over the middle where he could have another go. I think it's just the right angle. He could either screw it off the bottom cushion, may just have an angle to be able to screw into it directly. Could even possibly, I mean, the table's so reactive that he could even play the one to top right and maybe screw down into it. A couple of options still there. Just electing to cover the pocket and take some control, buy himself some time, because there's two reds now tied up, so he buys himself another visit or two to be able to develop the difficult yellow on the side. And this could be one that got away for Steve, because when he came to the table, all the reds were there. Well judged. Nice shot. Takes good control now. Got control over both of these bottom pockets. Sammy just needs to be careful here because there is only one bad red on the table now. And I think possibly just needs to develop it. I mean, he can just play into the yellow, push the red down towards the bottom two pockets, then Steve, all he'll have is some kind of double on it. But yeah, still only has that shot. As I think he's going to try and play thin off the yellow and send the red into the yellow over the pocket. Play the cannon. There is a small gap just below the yellow, but I don't think it's enough to get a ball through the gap. But no, definitely not squeezing nothing through there, and I don't think it squeezes out either. And even if it does, I'm not sure how much that helps. Going to have to come up with something a bit special here, or possibly just play a containing shot. Maybe put the red on top of the black. Buy himself another visit. I think he's going to try and play a double on the red. But yeah, that may have been an option, just to double that red down on top of the 8 ball. Just put it pocket side. It just, as I say, buys him another visit to try and think about what he can do with this red, but probably just delaying the inevitable. Because at some point he either had to try and pot it or develop it in some way. He's going to look for some kind of double. Electing to set the yellows up. So this 8 ball, a little bit close to the cushion for absolute comfort, but should just be a roll in. Simple enough. Sammy Craddock retakes the lead at 3 frames to 2. Steve McEnery, he's going to break in frame 6. And from Beard Productions, as mentioned earlier on comms, in just 2 weeks' time, Dave Roberts, this is Kev Richardson. Beard Productions is going to bring you that stream from, I think it's in Chard, in the Phoenix in Chard in Somerset. Sounds a bit like the Blue Oyster Bar, doesn't it, with the Phoenix? I'm scared. Is it a race to 25? Do we know? A race to 25. My score prediction will be that everyone will fall asleep when you get to 21 frames. And we'll all go home and call it quits. That's going to be a late night. That's a foul, just feathered the ball. So a good chance for Steve to pull things back level. With 2 visits, everything goes somewhere. Nice angle on the ball to middle, I think. Possibly be looking to drop down somewhere adjacent to the 8 ball, just maybe a couple of feet to the right hand side of it, and you'd have choice of yellows to left centre, left corner. Taking a chance, screwing into that gap, but actually I think it's come out really well for him. Very favourable nudge. But he's just running out of position. He's got a big angle on the ball to top left. And you can see he needs to find the gap between red and yellow to be able to play this yellow down to bottom left. Suddenly got very tricky. Controlled that well. Finally got the cue ball pretty much where he wants, and now I think he's got just the right angle to be able to stun on and off the side cushion, just come around this pack of 4. And still needs to be precise because that does create a big obstacle. Yeah. Had to make sure he got below. And he just ran into the reds. So Sammy Craddock with 2 visits, and should be over from here, but he's still got the cluster of 4 to contend with, and also the ball on the left hand side cushion. So I think possibly just don't try and be too adventurous with your first shot. I think maybe just break open this cluster. Not sure I'd have done it that way. I think coming from above, the leftmost of the 3 balls, I think the left of the 3, you push one towards the pocket, leave the other one where it is. I think they just split better if you come from behind. I think there's so much better chance of the balls going onto that left hand side cushion, and the reds look very ordinary. So Steve, just 1 yellow left on the table. He's going to be looking to double it to top right. Probably just play it around pocket weight, so if it's not in, it's over. Nice shot. Looked like it was just going too wide for a minute. And probably could have done with it a little closer to the pocket. I think Sammy can now play this red long. Play it cushion first, off the back of the yellow, and try and open everything up. Ooh. Took a bit of a chance there. And maybe caused himself a few problems. Really depends on whether the red goes. It might be alright actually. I think the red closest to the cushion goes above the yellow, or could possibly play it off the back of the yellow. Nice shot. Can he play the DF back? Possibly there. I think the red to the left of the cube will goes to left centre. And he can play it. There's a bit of a shot to nothing. If he misses it, Steve's not going to have anything. And Pat Ward against Ben Clark. Last 32 of the main event still going. 2 3/4 hours, 6-4 to Pat. Just looking through the field for the 12 o'clock session. How about you guys at home? Any games that you prefer in that 12 o'clock session that we could bring to you? qscore.com is going to give you the full draw. It's the 12 o'clock session. Mark Price against Chris Hampson, Joe Warren, Matt Barcock, Craig Benstock, Pat Ward, Jasper Simmons, Jack Hallowell, Matt Cook against Daniel Singh, Ross Dunn against Chris Melling, Neil Randall, Alex Lewis, Usama Maskini against Christian Disney, Big Dog Peter Mullaney against Ben Clark, Chris Davey, Daniel Bailey, Ian Davenport, Andy Day, Josh Gooder and Connor Treacy, Oli Bell, Spencer Jones, John Egan, Callum Kendall and Sam Boone against Adam Toms. In fact, there's a couple more still going. Liam White, Reece Townsend, Paul Wyatt, Phil Harrison, Scott Yardley, Matt Poole and Richard Gifford against Neil Toms. Sammy willing the cue ball further up the table to give him a chance at this double. Well, that works. For a second he's played the double kiss, but fair play if he did. It's a great result. I think it's a total as well, so may just have an edge to go at, but it doesn't matter anyway. He's going to hit a cushion regardless. Impossible not to. This is one of those for Steve, isn't it? It's got half a chance to middle, and he could screw it back for the 8-ball, but it's difficult. And why take the chance? Even if there was a half a chance to cut that along the cushion, the yellows come back up to cover it. Kind of puts the gauntlet down. I think for me, if I'm Steve, I think just double the yellow out, leave the white ball in the middle of that top cushion and leave a really testing pot. I'm not sure you can attack from here. I don't think there's doubles anywhere. Unless you just want to have a bit of a hooray at it. I think he's gonna try and put a double out. What about this for a shot? What a brilliant double. Wow, what a shot. Fantastic shot of the game so far. Brilliant double. Where's he found that one from? Well, as I say, shot of the day for me, and that'll take some beating. But, he manages to level things up at 3 frames each, and gives himself a chance in the match. But talking of chances, Sammy Craddock now has a chance on yellows. He's going to need to pull at least one good shot out to pot that one at the right hand side cushion, but everything is there. So misses the double, and Steve gets a look at the table. Not particularly nice. All of these reds, I think, all pot independently of each other into the top right, but he's not on any of them now. I think he can just get above the yellow in the middle of the table to pot the one into the left centre. He's got 2 nasty reds on left and right cushion. Missed the first pot. Now yellows are in the open. He needs to cue one good shot. Well, I said he had to cue one good one, and that was it. It was good cueing. Long straight. That's a real test. And he comes through it. And now he's got the frame there. And this match is there for him. He's going to be leaving the yellow at the top of the table until last. You know, I think he's just finished the wrong side of the yellow that's just above the 8 ball, so he's going to probably have to, he's going to dig right back in. Yeah, this is going wrong. tried to screw above the red to take that yellow into left centre. This is difficult now. He needs to think all he's got is the long pot to bottom right, and the red's in the way of getting the cue ball back up table. So suddenly what looked like a decent clearance, just one positional error, and it's unravelling. What's he seen here? A double?
Okay, Jason Owen, 12 o'clock session.
A double indeed. Oh, what a shot. That's another great double. Well, Steve McEnery took a super double in the last, and to level things up, and Sammy Craddock pulls out a great double there. This one still needs cueing though, doesn't want to decelerate. Just needs to make sure he times it. That's okay. So just this black now. It's been a good game. You can see there. Next up, Ross Dunn versus the magician Chris Melling.
On table 11, Daniel Singh back up.
You get to see a bit of the Chris Melling magic again. We saw him yesterday against Chris Day. Just come up short. He's going to be playing Ross Dunn. Man from down south.
On table 13, Osama Maskini, Christian Disney. Osama Maskini, Christian Disney, table 13.
You can hear the names being called to the table for the first round of the Jason Owen Open. We will continue with that action after a short break. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll know when we go live, but it'll be about 5 or 10 minutes. Go make yourself a brew and come back to see Chris Melling against Ross Dunn.